Hey everyone, Vince here from AutoIndustriya, and thank you for tuning in to another one of our car reviews. What we've got here is a new truck from Chevrolet. They call it the Colorado High Country Storm. Yes, that really is the name of this vehicle. It's a special new variant of the Colorado that they want to use to compete with against models like the Ford Ranger Wildtrak, for example. And we're gonna break it down and see how this everyday lifestyle top-of-the-line truck can perform on the highway, in the mountains, in traffic, and on the dirt. Watch out for it. We're gonna go have some fun. I mean, apart from, the new front end look of the Chevy Colorado, you got decals here, you've got decals over there on the side. I do have to say that the wheels are really nice for this kind of vehicle. They really wanted to accent, the black and white with this version. Of course, you can get the Colorado HCS in so many more colors. But again, the accent is going to be the same. Black on whatever the body color is. With the white on black, it actually works. Now, you see there on the back, you've got a roll bar. It's not a roll bar, actually. It's called a sports bar. It's not there for functionality, meaning if you roll over, it's not gonna do anything because it's mostly plastic. For this model, you've also got, the nice wheels. You've got the roof rails and the roof rack. All in all, it's a lot of aesthetic upgrades. It's a big contrast to one of the special models of Chevrolet we drove a few years ago before the facelift that they call the Tracker Pro. That one we like because a lot of the upgrades are very functional. In this one, it's mostly aesthetic. But hey, it works. So we're now aboard the new Chevrolet Colorado High Country Storm. If you forget what you're driving, you can just look here. It says High Country. The Storm, I guess, didn't fit in that little badge by the door. We're now in a city, and we're gonna try to maneuver, see how this truck maneuvers around here, because a lot of people do say that trucks, 5-meter long trucks can be very tricky, but we don't really find that with a vehicle like this. For one, you've got sensors all around if you need to maneuver around tight spaces. I've turned it off now because it can be annoying if, for one, we're talking to you, so that's gonna interfere with our audio. And two, we don't really need it because the visibility, from where I'm sitting, it's actually really good. I mean, I can see where pretty much the hood ends, so I can really estimate well when it comes to parking, face or forward first. One thing about this vehicle though, when it comes to safety, particularly in the city, is that it has a forward collision alert. It's right here on the steering wheel. It basically warns you if you get too close or you haven't reacted to a vehicle ahead that has been slowing down. So it'll alert you to hopefully get you to brake. Now, the ride of the HCS over these roads, it's not class leading, I can tell you that. It's, you do feel a lot more of the road because this is still a leaf spring suspension in the back. So it's meant to carry load, and without that load, the ride is gonna be firm. But if you're fully loaded, it'll be okay. But again, trucks are not really made for comfort. But Chevrolet did try with this vehicle. I mean, we're talking about leather seats. We got a nice dashboard here. We got a nice interior design that makes it more lifestyleish. Actually, the High Country Storm is part of the facelift of the Chevrolet Colorado, the one that they implemented, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago. they did change a lot with the Chevrolet Colorado with the last facelift. They changed the exterior design. That much is clear. I mean, it's really for the better. In the back, they didn't change all too much. Though for this High Country Storm, they put in some, exterior enhancements. The dashboard, of course, is the current, the newer facelift of the Colorado. But for some reason, I don't know why they didn't change the steering wheel. I mean, it's all right. There's nothing wrong about it. But, it already feels a bit dated for its class, Especially, it may not sound important, or it may sound trivial for a pickup truck, for us to be, fighting over the steering wheel of a pickup. But Chevrolet was going for, for a lifestyle vehicle with a High Country Storm. And changing this out for something a little more modern, a little more, nicely laid out or shaped, could have really done well for the Colorado. Now, under that bedeckled hood is a 2.8-liter Duramax turbo diesel engine. And you can really hear that it's a turbo diesel. I mean, it's finding ways to get through, the noise, the diesel clatter that you associate with older school, if that's even a word, older school turbo diesel engines. It's finding, ways to get into the cabin. For me personally, I don't mind it, but if you're looking for something, more modern, more refined, then this might not, work for you. Because when it comes to, overall refinement, there are really a lot of models already in the market, the younger competitors of this Colorado that have already moved forward with smaller, more refined turbo diesel engines. So if we're driving on concrete right now, you can feel quite a bit of the bumps. If you drive on tarmac, it's a little bit better. I mean, that's expected. But again, you shouldn't mistake this for a comfortable SUV. It is not that. The Trailblazer would be the one that you'd be thinking about. The Colorado, it's still firm in the back. There's going to be a bit of bouncing around, but it's not actually too bad. It's not gonna wow you with the way it drives and handles. I mean, turn it now. It's handling is okay. It's not overly heavy, but you can feel a bit of weight there. The only real issue here is noise. Again, like with the city, if you're driving out here, you can hear a bit more of that engine, and as you can hear also, there's a bit of vibration. You can probably see it through the camera. There's going to be quite a bit of shaking because we are still an unladen pickup truck. Now, we can test this for load capability, but the thing with the Colorado, the High Country Storm especially, is that it's a lifestyle truck. You're not going to be loading this vehicle up with bags of concrete unless you really need to. Because it's more of things like you'd put in the back would be a pair of motorcycles perhaps, or a couple of bikes, or camping gear, scuba gear, all those other kinds of equipment that isn't really commercial or construction in nature. It's more of recreational, and that's what the High Country Storm offers. The first real point of comparison for the Chevrolet Colorado is really the Isuzu D-Max. And that's because they are both very closely related. Although they use, different engines, but they were really developed more or less at the same time and came out about the same time. Now, if we were to compare those two, I think the Colorado, especially this High Country Storm, does edge out the Isuzu D-Max in terms of, steering feel, overall lightness, fit and finish, everything else around here, it's very, very fairly well done. Compared to the Wildtrak, however, it's going to be a bit more challenging for the Colorado, because the Ranger Wildtrak has really stepped up the game when it comes to what a customer can expect if they're buying a lifestyle truck, something that they can use every day and especially enjoy on the weekends on a road trip. What drags down the ratings for the Colorado, I think, is more of the refinement. The ride is not as refined as a lot of some of the other competitors in that class. Ranger Wildtrak, Navara, of course, is way up there because it's got coil spring suspension, or even the Strada. But again, what this one does have is quite a bit of capability, and we're going to try a little bit of that off-road a little later on in our drive. So now we're in 4 high. We're finally on a bit of a trail. Not too hard. It's just a light trail. But we'd rather have the assurance of 4 high because it's been raining quite a bit and it's slippery and there are a lot of ruts and whatnot. So we'd rather have that, that security, that peace of mind. And that's what the Colorado offers. It's the capability of its 4x4 system. I mean, Chevrolet is a truck specialist, so we do have quite a bit of faith in what their pickups can do. The Colorado has one of those classic 4x4 systems, meaning it's not like all-wheel drive in a crossover. This is a true 4x4, and you activate it by a knob right here on the center console, just beside the handbrake. Before on the road, usually you're in 2-wheel drive high with rear-wheel drive, really, and then now we're in 4-wheel drive high. You can engage 4-wheel drive low if you're feeling like if you want to go on a serious off-road course. But as it stands, 4-wheel drive high actually is a bit too much already for this road because this area hasn't been rained much. But on the slippery surfaces, yeah, you'll want the assurance of 4-wheel drive high or 4-wheel drive low. Our drive today shouldn't probably require us to do 4-wheel drive low, but for now, yeah, it's pretty good fun, and you don't have to slow down as much because the same suspension that can be a pain in the city is a lot better here on this road. I mean, it's really soaking up a lot of the vibrations of the road, the unevenness of it, and we'll take it out for a river crossing in a little while. If you can't tell by now, we're having a lot of fun with the Chevrolet Colorado High Country Storm up here in the mountains. We can tell you that it performs just as advertised. It's a great everyday truck you can take off-road, on-road, and anywhere else in between in your daily life. Now, there are things that we like about it. For example, it's still a pickup, and this bed can take about 1,000 kilograms. I'm nowhere near that. This roof rail can take another 75 if you need it to, but there are things we would really like to change. I mean, reduce the decals, less of the name, maybe remove this sports bar because, quite frankly, we don't find a real use for it. And the one time I was actually able to really use the bed, which was to put drums in the back, this just got in the way when I was trying to tie it down onto the hard points right here. But overall, it performs really well, and we actually quite like it. It's not going to be the best in the class, but it's right up there with the leaders. This is Vince of AutoIndustriya, and if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and on Twitter.